And we are back. It is time for the final cast of the night. We have Maze's Realm and Phatern here, your casters, and we're kicking things off on the map. Comeback. We're heading into some Uplink action.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, chat, helping us decide that.
Good
Casters,
guys,
are you ready?
I am ready.
Sir. Are you going to drive this one?
I'm giving it to you. Okay, I'll drive. I'll drive.
Take some notes.
You take the notes, man.
Thank you.
I was the mean guy last time. It's your turn.
That's such like a maniacal laugh when mistakes are made. It's like that nice one.
Anyway, Phatern, over to you to kick it off.
All right, so we're going to be starting here on Comeback Uplink. And the first thing that I want to pay attention to is who's going to get control of that glass side where the drone spawns. Maze, what are you looking for as we head off the break here?
Obviously, you got to be patient with the aggression on that side of the map. You're going to want to make sure you get those first picks to get the control first, and then get possession of that satellite, and make sure you've got blockers in front of you to get a good, clean route. Of course, you're going to see that Mr. X's squad is going to start on that Sentinel side. Meanwhile, you're going to see the Puckett squad starting on the Atlas side. And of course, just based on what you have seen throughout the Advanced Warfare season, which side do you prefer to watch?
Oh, I prefer the yellow side as the base just because there's so many routes that you can go to put the actual uplink through, whether you go through the middle map or from the outside. And actually, that is a cap that was just stopped right there by KR George on Mr. X's team. And it's actually a 3v4 right now, a little bit of a disadvantage, but they're going to make the best of it if they can. And actually, all three go down while that drone is on the outside. How do you think they can overcome this 3v4 disadvantage?
It's actually really tough, but if you use the buddy system as best as you can and you just rotate the map together, you should be able to at least get some situational plays to go your way. And as it is right now, Hero's going to get taken down. That leaves Zeus to be able to try to reset that satellite, but it bounces back inside the map, and now he decides to run it out instead. So that is a good heads-up play by him. And if you look at the mini-map on the top left, you'll be able to see that he has got a crisp route. He's got blockers in front of him, but now that the enemy team is starting to come back in, they are not going to really be able to capitalize there as much as they could have. And now it's going to be Hero that's going to get taken down, and that satellite's going to be run out by Beyond, and he almost gets a chance to throw it over, and he does get a chance to reset it.
Yeah, they reset it. That was pretty crazy. They actually pushed right through, and we're almost able to get that score if he hadn't missed. But right now we're back on board with Zeus. He's actually going to push it right through that middle. He actually gets stopped by Blurpy, and now we're back on board with George. He is actually going to be pushing up and trying to get that uplink over there, but the drone has fallen short, and he's actually in the base. They're trying to get control of this and get a few kills, and they managed to do so. But I really want to see them push it around that back side if they happen to do so. But it looks like it's actually going to be reset here. If Blurpy doesn't pick it up, he actually jumps right over it, and he's going to be taken down. It's back to a 3v4, and now we've got the player running. Jinx is trying to get the kill, going to that middle. He's not going to be able to pick it up. The player from the other squad, he actually goes down as well. What happened there? Why was
he had to go for the one-point play right there, Phatern. He had to go for it. He got a little greedy, and then one player came back from respawn and made him pay for it, and now they're going to go up 4-0. And by them, I mean the Puckett team there. They have the clear advantage with the man count as well. So this is going to be interesting to see how Mr. X's team can come back here and start to get some plays go their way.
Yeah, George is actually killing it right now. He's 12-4. He was on a 2-streak before he tried to get that uplink, but having 4v3 is not going to work out in your favor, and actually all three of their teammates go down. All three of them are actually positive, but it's just too tough to play 4v3. Jinx is going to try and push right through here with the actual drone carrier. They're actually being great blockers at this point. Looks like they have a clear route. He's not able to get that kill, so it's going to be really close. Mame is running a great route. It looks like he actually gets stopped short of that dunk, and actually now Prodigy's going to take that, and he's going to run it out to that left green side, which is a little unorthodox. Why don't too many teams try to run it green over here?
Well, it's based on where the players are on the map. That's when you know when to push that green route and when not to, because if you do get killed on that route, they can easily counter score. And right now, as Hero is trying to go for another 2-point play, he's got to make sure that his teammates are communicating that to him and that he's paying attention to where they are on the mini-map there. Otherwise, he's going to have some trouble getting those 2-point plays to go home. Once again, we see another green push, a team kill, almost a team kill, I should say. He did get some shots on his own teammate there. 3 will go down for Mr. X's team. And now Puckett's team has got the satellite in hand. That's Blurpy once again is trying to get it. And he's got a player directly behind him. And once again, he is going to get taken down short of that goal line. And now it's going to be an all-out rush there for Hero as he's going to be able to get another 2-point play. And now it's going to be a 6-0 advantage here for Puckett's team.
Oh, of course, but Beyond, he's now grabbed it, and he looks like he's going to try to wrap it around that backside, coming through glass, and all 4 players are up right now, but there's only 2 for Mr. X's squad. They've done a fantastic job of slaying out, but that 1-player advantage is really just not benefiting them at all, and it looks like they're going to go for another dunk. They do. They're up 8-0 with about 40 seconds left. Not looking good for Mr. X's squad, down 3v4, but George has now picked up. Looks like he's trying to actually go for a point here. He has made it on top of Blue. All he's got to do is dunk it in, and he does manage to score, so a little bit of a silver lining there, playing 3v4 as Mr. George is now got a 2 KD, and the score is now 8-2.
It certainly is. Zeus here trying to keep themselves alive in this half because it's only one more 2-point play that Puckett's team needs in order to be able to seal off their victory for the first side of play here on Uplink Comeback. But right now, as you see, that satellite is going to be reset, and that is going to fortify the victory here for Puckett's team. They played outstanding. They also had a little bit of an advantage starting out, but that will be the score at the half, 8-2. Puckett's team comes out on top.
Yeah, that was a... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, that was a great slaying effort by Mr. X's team. If they had only had that one extra player to possibly run the drone in, you know, it could have been an entirely different game.
All right, we're going to go ahead and end it there, guys. Good half. Frustrations right away from me is I didn't know who you were watching at all. Neither of you really gave me a whole lot of direction. Really, Maze, you gave it to me 3 times. You told me the 3 players that were really on the screen that you were watching. Phatern, I feel like you didn't use your controller at all. Also, it felt like at times you weren't watching the mini-map. After you saw George go for the 2-point play, you didn't talk about the fact that Zeus had just waited for the new respawn, picked it up, and put the ball in play for a situation where they could have gone up, or I mean, not up, but scored 4 times in just 30 seconds. So that would have brought them right back in the game. Missed opportunity there. But I feel like you were just casting Phatern off of the single screen, not looking at the mini-map nearly enough. And if you're going to be casting at the next level, you need to be driving the bus, be comfortable driving in-game, and making sure that the audience knows who you're watching. But with that said, I was impressed by the fact that you were able to still tell the story from that one person's perspective. And really, there was a lot of 3 down, 2 down that you guys were mentioning throughout it. But at the end, I knew every time there was a major score.
I want to kick things off saying, first of all, great camera presence from Phatern. Really, like, seemed to be smiley, very enjoyable, like, good intro to the whole cast as well. I know you wrote that down immediately.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
We kind of both sort of hopped on that. But then, Phatern, I'm gonna ask you a question. Were you nervous?
No, I to be honest, I really wasn't using the controller that much. I guess I was really just trying to focus. I don't feel too nervous. I think it just not being in control of who I wanted to watch, I guess. And that's my fault for not, you know, using the codcaster as I should have.
Okay. All right. That's respectable.
Honest.
Yeah, I like honest.
Dig it. Yeah.
Solid cast at times. But again, it's kind of hard. I mean, we actually cut to a video of us because Puckett basically put the controller down and the game guided it himself.
It's like, I don't need to touch anything here.
Yeah, it was kind of, everyone was going off what the game was doing, which was a little disturbing at times.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a nice recovery when it was 3-on-4. You guys didn't really kind of fumble that, let that kind of slip up. It was a nice little just kind of quick mention, you know, after that. Then, you know, when Maze would kind of throw it to Phatern for analysis, it was pretty quick, right back to Maze. You know, it seemed pretty good. And then, you know, going on to Maze, you know, there was actually for both people, there was Man Hero was running full streaks. Nobody mentioned it at all. And then I thought some of the analysis was kind of generic. Otherwise, the play-by-play was pretty good.
We actually saw the streaks come in, and that's where I got frustrated. It's like, I don't have a job right now as the controller of the game. So I'm able to just watch the kill feed. No one picked up on that.
Right. I have a question for you, Maze.
Yes.
I want you to define patient with aggression.
Define patient with aggression?
Yep. What does it mean?
In other words, you are aggressive to a certain point on what you have in front of you. So if you've got teammates that just got taken down and you're being aggressive with them, then you have to be patient for them to come back on respawn. That's what I meant by that terminology that I said.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable.
Matt, I know you were shaking your head when
Matt doesn't look impressed by that.
I was just confused, to be honest, because it was like the first part of the game. It was like right at the glass building, and it was like I didn't really understand what.
Patient with aggression.
Yeah.
Well, we did see Phatern throw to Maze, and he said, "Why don't they run green very often?" And it was a very roundabout answer from Maze.
So I want you to explain why green is so important on comeback. Maze.
Well, it's important because that's where you want to keep the enemy spawning in. They've got a huge disadvantage to try to play that satellite spawn when they're forced to spawn there in green.
Stop right there. That is exactly what you should have said when that question was thrown to you.
Okay.
That's the analysis. That is the analysis. You know it. It's just now relating what you know into the game. You want to keep the opposition spawning at green. Easy spawn trap, easy points. That's the basic.
Easy points.
Easy points. Boys, easy points.
Matt, what other notes did you have?
I mean, that was really it for both sides. Kind of the same thing that you said about Phatern, the same thing you kind of said about Maze, and then just the generic analysis. I had the patience with aggression too. Nobody mentioned Man Hero had full streaks. I mean, we were on with him for we kept calling. Keep calling him out. We're on with him, and then nobody. It's like on the right hand side.
Especially when you see that missile strike in the kill feed. Man.
It wasn't like he was running one streak. He had like 3 or 4.
Right. Yeah. He kind of set up a pub glass and went ham with it.
Now, I was, again, very impressed that you guys were able to just cast off of what the game was giving you. You weren't necessarily on the best player at all times, but you were making it work. And for anyone who wasn't in the studio, they might not have even picked up on it. But because neither of you were driving, I felt like you were both able to really focus on it. And it's a whole nother talent to be able to drive and talk at the same time. And I'm a little bit worried for both of you guys at the next level.
I do want to point out, though, Maze, you definitely improved a lot, in my mind at least, from yesterday going into today. So I was impressed to see that.
Almost no flubs, yeah.
It was just a few moments where I feel like you know what you want to say. And if you had an extra 3 seconds to think about it, you would nail it. But it's just you kind of got a little flustered, maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't think I got flustered because Phatern did such a fantastic job. Honestly, I think he deserves a lot of credit for it as well. But typically, I like to gel with my co-caster. So if he's got a shorter run when he's casting, I don't want to overpower him and continue to cast for a longer period of time. And with a game mode like Uplink, where it's very fast-paced and you can't always interrupt yourself when you're talking about analysis, that's something you don't want to do either. And that's why it's a thin line. Right. But I did the best I could.
I have a good question for you then.
Yes.
What was the most annoying thing Phatern did throughout that whole cast?
I'm not easily annoyed, but I'll say that. But I'll say that at times it seemed like he would throw it back really, really quickly if he lost track of what was going on. And you've got to kind of make it into a conversation. In my opinion, that's how casting is. It's two people having a conversation and having a flow.
Right.
And if one person says just a few things and then throws it back to you, it makes it so that you can't really look at the mini-map, the kill feed, and the streaks that people are using because it doesn't give you enough time to analyze their full screen and then talk right away.
Okay. Phatern,
and as an analyst, that can be a little bit of an issue. And that's what I like to concentrate on. But I think he did a fantastic job, and he deserves a lot of credit. I can't hound him for anything particular.
Phatern, what was the most frustrating thing about Maze casting that game for you?
Well, this is my first time casting, so I guess it's kind of hard to pick out, but I would probably say if I was doing it too fast, not to like counter this, but I remember the one point where the team that was defending the blue side, they went to score, and at that point I thought he was gonna like let it go, and he kept going for a while. So we're talking about rhythm, and I feel like I lost mine a little bit. Not that I maybe had a lot to go because I wasn't really controlling, but I feel like I got caught up there and I lost my train of thought. So when it came back to me, I kind of like struggled, like because the ball hadn't reset, and then they threw it out of bounds and a little all over the place. But no, I mean, I had a great time. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I definitely think both of you guys will be very comfortable with someone else driving. Again, just to nail that point down. And that's not necessarily the worst thing. Like Maven, for example, not the guy we're going to give the controller at the event.
You won't see anybody get any kills if he's driving.
But
death.
But he does a great job of being able to fill. Blizz was another guy who didn't ever want to drive. So you're going to have people like Ben and I who are going to fight over the controller, and then you're going to have other casters who are very comfortable in that second seat. I think it's going to be...
really fight. I just let you do it now. I kind of learned. Black Ops 2 I definitely did. I was like, no, I think I'm better at you than driving. But this game, I was like, yeah, you do it.
Yeah, now we just battle. You missed the nade shot.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you
so
missed
funny.
the nade shot.
It's like, no, you missed.
Reddit
it.
Nobody wants to be
more.
responsible for having that controller.
But again, guys, really nice cast overall. If I'm looking for a voice, I think both of you guys had a really good voice. Phatern, I was actually really impressed. You kept your points short, but your analysis when people threw to you as that analyst, you were able to answer it quickly and get it right back. And an uplink is a situation where you're going to want to throw back. When a player has that satellite in their hands and they're just about to score, you got to go back to the play-by-play guy or take it yourself.
Fine, let me ask you this. If you could go back in time 15 minutes, what would you change about what you just casted?
I would have just held the controller and actually went through and then called out who I was going to be looking at, because I feel that would give me the ability to look at the player and see what they were doing and then build off of that instead of just kind of letting it go and trying to play catch up the whole time.
Maze, same question to you.
I would have to say that during some spurts, I might have been a little bit long-winded in trying to establish the play-by-play a little bit again. And I could probably shorten my delivery a little bit there, get my thoughts across with my co-caster a little bit more effectively at times.
All right, final question for both of you.
Yep.
Why should the fans vote you guys through? Why should the vans?
The vans.
Why
The optic vans or which?
Yeah, optic vans. Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you go first, Phatern.
All right. I know that I'm going to bring it at Columbus, and if I make it to LA, I'm just going to come out and be on fire. I'm going to bring a lot of energy. I'm going to study up on the analysis, the play-by-play. I can talk incredibly fast, so I'm just going to keep going as long as I can, and I can keep up with it. So vote for me, guys.
Over
All
to you,
right.
Maze.
Well, that's a hard one to top, isn't it? I've been doing this for a while. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but it's a grind that takes a lot of time off my day, and I try to perfect it as much as I can. And I think the experience that I've had in LAN, both good experiences and bad experiences, you guys have shared those with me on stream and have let me know on Twitter quite often. So I want to be sure to represent the community well as best as I can and keep it professional, and then also make sure that I keep it as entertaining as possible as well. And if you guys want that as well, then that's why I would love to get your vote.
All right, so guys, thank you so much for your semifinalist cast. When we come back from the commercial break, we're going to give our thoughts on all 6 contestants, review a little bit of the tape, and of course, open up the voting. So get your Twitter ready. We'll be back with the cast-off after this.